Hey, you sweet bastards, head over to our YouTube community page, won't you? And take a look. We got lots of good stuff there posted every day, and it's the little community that we like to have. It's going to have Super 70 sports tweets, America's poll of the day, whatever random shit is on my mind basically is happening there. So head over to the Ricky Cobb Show community page and be a part of things. Like, comment, subscribe, and who knows? The things that you have to say just might end up being a part of the show. I mean, I wore a Buffalo Bills jersey yesterday just because one of you guys told me to. So we do read, we do respond, and we do value the interaction with you guys. So get involved in the YouTube community page here on the Ricky Cobb Show channel.
All right, Ricky, let's do it. So yesterday was a really cool moment. Getting to interact with some of our great fans. BT1919 requested a couple of times for you to be wearing a Buffalo Bills jersey. We talk about it all the time, just how great some of your jerseys are. You got a really great collection. I've seen Jim Zorn, I've seen Reggie White, and BT1919, obviously a huge Bills fan, was asking for you to wear some Bills jersey. You really made his day yesterday. It was pretty cool.
Well, that was one that was easy for me to fulfill, and a lot of these football jerseys of mine, they don't get a ton of wear. It started during COVID. None of us had anything to do, so I just started buying NFL jerseys. Teams of my youth, particularly, I've got the 28 teams that were in the league when I became a fan. I don't have a Ravens jersey. I don't have a Panthers. I don't have a Jaguars. Who's the other team?
Houston.
Who's the Titans? Yeah, Titans.
Yeah, Texans. Yeah.
Yeah, Houston, or the Houston Texans for that matter. But if they were an NFL team in the 70s, 80s, 90s, I do have a jersey for them. I got a couple of creamsicles, Jared. I've got a Mike Allstott and a Leroy Selman that I picked up recently that I'm kind of jacked about. But I've got every team. So there are a lot of NFL jerseys that haven't made it onto the show yet. So I was happy to grant BT 1919's wish there and appreciate that. And if there are any other NFL fans out there that want to see me wear their team's gear on the show, give us a shout out in the comments and I'll be happy to play that request too.
Yeah, well, you got 28 of the 32 possibilities. Quick one. If you were to buy any current player's jersey, who would you want? Who would it be?
Oh man, current player jersey. Probably, if I'm just taking into account how much I like the player and not the jersey, probably Josh Allen, another Buffalo quarterback there. Yeah, Josh Allen's my favorite player in the NFL. So I think if I were going to get a current player jersey, which I probably will never do, if anybody wants to gift me one, I'm a sexy extra large 48. But I would just say to you that Josh Allen, I think, would be my guy. Although I wouldn't mind having one of those Buccaneers 76 throwbacks that they've been wearing this year. If I'm going just off of the jersey itself, I might need a Baker Mayfield.
That's what I thought you were going to say at first. So I'm glad you brought that up. But yeah. Elite jersey collection. We got to do one time where you take us through your closet and show us all the ones you got. I feel like that would be a really cool one because I know that's something that I look forward to when you do wear a jersey. I like, commenting on that and remembering that. So great stuff. Another one of the great parts of our show is America's poll. And we had a comment the other day from a loyal fan, William Shank. Shout out to you. Really just kind of loving the poll, loving what you guys do, and really invested in this idea. So, I'm kind of wondering, Ricky, this is a really great idea. Everyone that I've talked to loves it. It's just so random. It's great. How did this entire idea start? I know that, a lot, these really kind of ramped up once we started doing the Ricky Cobb show. How did this whole idea of just putting random shit together, how did it start?
All right. Well, first of all, thank you, William. Appreciate your comment. You obviously have outstanding taste. The why not, which is, what I still call it on Super 70s. I don't know how long I had been doing it before we started the show and rebranded it as America's Poll of the Day and had a little fun with that, obviously on the program. Probably I'd been doing it for probably a few months, something like that. I don't know where the idea originally came from. I was probably high, and I was, I'm always looking for content. That's the other thing, so I'm always looking for content. And I just had a thought. I wonder if I could pick 4 totally different things and get close to an even split on how much people like them. Like, what would happen if you put, fucking Tears for Fears up against Funyuns, and then you threw in Dan Fouts, and you threw in New Car Smell or whatever? Yeah. Would that be close to 25? So originally it was a game for me more than the public. I was trying to just test myself to see if I could pick 4 things, and I would think to myself, no, that's too good. Too many people are going to like that. Now, obviously, the longer that we've done it, Jared, the harder it gets, because there's only so many things that you can put in a poll, and it's hard to calibrate it. I still get excited when we have one that's a 4-way race, which doesn't happen that often. We've had a few really crazy close ones, but it's pretty rare that you can get 4 even all in the 20s somewhere. For me, if nothing is above 30 and nothing is below 20, that is about as good as you can hope for. So I still enjoy the challenge, but if I'm being completely honest with you, there are a lot of days where we're an hour before the show, or sometimes, as you know, Jared, sometimes we're 5 minutes before the show, and I'm just trying to think of a poll of the day because I forgot to post one earlier. So I have somewhat abandoned the 25, 25, 25, 25 goal. But the heart of it is just, let's just have debates about things that nobody has ever debated before is kind of the fun of it for me.
Yeah, perfectly said. It's definitely something I look forward to every day. It's a great aspect of the program. And in case you guys missed it, around March Madness time, we did a Why Not tournament with all the 32 Championship Friday winners. It was a lot of fun making it, and it was a lot of fun kind of seeing the best of the best of what you guys really think going up against each other. Really great stuff there. We're almost on the complete lap around that, where we're at 32 more Championship Friday winners. So look out for another tournament pretty soon. Speaking of tournaments, we just had the World Series close and the MLB playoffs, and unbelievable. I'm not the biggest baseball guy in the entire world. I'm more of a football and basketball guy, but man, that World Series Game 7 was one of the greatest that we've ever seen. We had a segment a couple of weeks ago talking about the greatest October home runs. And there were a lot of memorable ones this year so far. George Springer in the ALCS Game 7. You had a couple just in the Game 7 of the World Series alone with Bo Bichette. I'm going to remember where I was for that for the rest of my life. Same with Miguel Rojas in that game, just unbelievable. So, but yeah, we did a top 10 a couple of weeks ago, and we had a lot of engagement with some of our fans here. Giving us some of them that we maybe didn't mention. There's a lot of memorable ones that you can really kind of go with. And, so we're not going to be able to hit them all. And again, it's only a top 10 list. But yeah, appreciate everyone really kind of reaching out and saying some memorable ones that they, that meant a lot to them and that they thought deserve some recognition. Ricky, what do you think about some of the ones that some of the people were saying, and maybe some other ones that we maybe forgot to mention?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many, and that's the fun of this stuff is debating it and knocking around the ideas. There, the comment there that I left out Freddie Freeman's grand slam against the Yankees last year. Certainly, Freddie becoming, the only guy to have 2 walk-off World Series homers with the bomb that he hit in the 18th inning there in this year's World Series. That's obviously a valid one. David Freese is probably another one that we could mention from I think it was 2011
Yep.
World
2011.
Series. The homer here I can see that is mentioned up here, the Pujols homer off of Brad Lidge back in 2005, where he hit it over the train tracks in left field at whatever the hell they call Enron and Minute Maid now. I'm not even sure what it's called at this point. But yeah, Jared, there's a lot of good ones, but there's a handful of home runs that you really remember. You talked about how you were going to remember where you were when Bo Bichette hit that home run. And, I remember watching the Bucky Dent home run. That was the first real historic home run that I remember where I was at when it happened. I certainly remember where I was at when Joe Carter hit the home run that ended the 93 World Series off of Mitch Williams. And I'm definitely going to remember Will Smith. I missed the Miguel Rojas home run because I was waiting to get on the teacups at Six Flags. Jared, I got a text from my friend who told me, my buddy Pete, shout out to Pete, who has been on this program, and he said Rojas just homered 4-4 in the ninth. Otani's coming up, and then I had to go immediately get on the teacups for some excitement. But I saw the Will Smith homer. I was standing in the rain watching it on my phone. I had a couple of strangers come up to me who saw that I was watching the World Series, and they were asking me what was going on, which was pretty cool as well. So yeah, we appreciate everybody chiming in on that. And, I think people will find that that's a big part of Super 70s is the discussion around stuff, right? In the back and forth. It invites conversation. And I hope that what we can do on the YouTube channel as well is create conversation about these things that we all love and care about, and that it's meaningful enough to us that we care enough to engage on these topics. So we appreciate everybody who got in there and was letting us know their thoughts on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know of any other home runs that were really memorable to you. I know one for me, at least, is Juan Soto last year clinching the Yankees to go to the World Series. I remember exactly where I was for that. There's a lot of moments like that in sports. So really happy that you guys all were able to chime in. All right, next, this was one of my favorite moments of the show's history. As everyone knows, it was Halloween over the weekend, and our incredible tech team in Nashville wanted to pay homage, or however the hell you pronounce that, to our incredible hosts, Ricky and Ronnie T-shirts. On the left is Molly, and on the right is Tyler.
So
again, this is part of our Nashville team. I mean, I just thought this was perfect. I'm not a huge Halloween guy. I had the same costume as last year, and it wasn't very good. I've never really, gone too deep on that. But Ricky, I know you're kind of a Halloween guy. You got some any good costumes from the past?
I was Scooby-Doo a few years ago.
Okay.
And that's the only time that I've dressed up, and I did that very reluctantly, if I'm being honest with you. But I was Scooby-Doo a handful of years ago and ended up going to a party that I was led to believe was a costume party. And then when I got there, me and my ex-girlfriend were the only people who were in costumes. So imagine meeting a bunch of people you've never met before in your life, and you walk up and you're fucking Scooby-Doo.
That's good.
Am I right? Am I right, Jared? So anyway, yeah, I haven't dressed up since then, but Molly and Tyler absolutely nailed. I mean, Molly nailed me completely with that look and the big, humongous joint that I am very jealous that I don't have in the pantry right now, if I'm being honest with you. Although Tyler, I will say this, Ronnie has not taken that much Ozempic. Okay, that is a very svelte Ronnie t-shirts. So I'm just saying, Ronnie really got done right by Tyler, because Ron hasn't been in that kind of physical condition since, I'm gonna guess the late 80s, probably, Jared.
That's a pretty good guess.
Absolutely fantastic and honored. Not only is it funny as hell, but
oh my God,
it's very flattering that you guys went out there and did that. And
did you go out as anything this year?
Made my week.
You do anything this year? Have any parties or anything?
I wore the same costume as Molly. I just went as Ricky Cobb.
Okay.
Well,
that's not too bad.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
last thing that I kind of
we
wanted to
can
do
debate
here
that.
before we let you go. I wanted to go inside the brain of Ricky Cobb. Everyone knows Super 70s. Have done
Be
incredible work
careful
there
what
over
you
the
ask
last.
for, my friend.
You've done incredible
Be
work
very
there over the
fucking
last
careful what you ask for.
10 or 11 years. Um, this one caught my eye a few hours ago, and I really just thought it was hilarious. You have a lot of tweets that are kind of like this, of just fucked up playgrounds, and
Yeah.
you never really would find this anywhere else. And I never really would have thought about it because everything now is about safety. I mean, like, it got to the point where, like, when I was a kid, I barely even played on the playground because it just didn't seem nearly as fun because it didn't look like shit like this. And I love the way that you kind of phrase it, where it's a conversation too. I know Ronnie has said that a couple times. So where did you find the picture, and like what was going through your mind as you made this one?
I can't remember where I found it, just out there somewhere, probably. Sometimes people send me stuff, which I always appreciate. I'm never going to discourage anybody from sending me stuff. I can't use it all, but if it
Mm-hmm.
strikes a chord with me and inspires me to come up with something that's worth posting, I definitely um, welcome it. But yeah, look, I have tweeted a lot about dangerous playground equipment. Steve Rushin did a feature for Sports Illustrated, maybe, I don't know how long ago it's been now, a few years ago, and he talked to me for it because I would like to say that I'm one of America's foremost connoisseurs of dangerous playground equipment. And now, if you go to a playground, I've got 5 kids, as you know, Jared, and they're getting older, but I've been to my share of playgrounds in my day, and everything's plastic and everything's rounded off for safety. There's no hard edges, there's no sharp places. They've got rubber down, mulch down. They've tried to take some provisions to make playgrounds safer, which is a good idea, but I don't know what adults were thinking back in the 70s and 80s. So for that tweet, it was just seeing it and having that moment where you look at it and you think, oh my God, like, how could anyone have thought that this was a good idea? Did anybody play the tape forward and imagine what would happen if you sent 20 children out to grab onto that contraption? And of course, the chef's kiss on the entire thing is the concrete.
Yeah.
Because, that kids are going to be flying off. That's just a given. So what would be the responsible thing to do? Well, let's lay down some concrete. So yeah, that's one of mine where I like to imagine what the conversation went like when this idea was brought to the person who could turn it into a reality. And I have to imagine it went down something like that.
Yeah, man, it's a really good one. I laughed out loud. I've laughed aloud at a lot, but yeah, good stuff. We're gonna have a lot more tweets coming your guys' way. This was a great time going behind the scenes on the Ricky Cobb Show. A lot more tweets getting into the mind of Ricky Cobb and the mind of Super 70 Sports.